Hi everyone, my name is Tamid Saleh and welcome to my race review for Spa, where of course Leclerc won his first ever Formula One race. But it's only fitting, I believe, to begin with the sad incident with the death of a Formula 2 driver, Anthoine Hubert. He had a terrible accident at, I believe, 170 mile an hour. I've personally not seen the accident, and I don't plan to, just out of respect, really. But times like this really show us that, as safe as Formula One is these days, with all the safety precautions and all of that they're taking, it's still such a dangerous sport, and the drivers are literally putting their lives on the line for our entertainment. So yeah, I think that is something that we don't appreciate maybe enough, just how much risk the drivers are putting in. But yeah, moving on to Spa. Yep, Leclerc won his first ever Grand Prix. We're just going to have a look at how the race panned out, as well as give an update on the standings for the drivers and the constructors. If you haven't already, then please do subscribe, as I do race reviews for every single race in the Formula One calendar. My last race review was, of course, the Hungary Grand Prix, and I also discussed whether or not Max Verstappen is becoming the best driver. If you want to check that out, I'll be putting a link up here somewhere and also in the description below. Now, we have a lot to talk about, so without further ado, let's roll the intro.
Here he is again. That's astonishing. It's absolutely He's taken them apart.
So, of course, as you know, Charles Leclerc has won his first ever Formula One Grand Prix. Kudos to him. It's been a long time coming, really, and personally, he probably should have won two races already this year in Bahrain, where of course he was leading the race quite comfortably. And then right near the end, he had a cylinder problem, meaning he had to retire from the race. And then again in Austria, where once again he was leading the race, only for Max Verstappen to overtake him with about 2 laps to go. So this has been a long time coming, and of course a massive congratulations to Charles Leclerc. The race itself started immediately with a lot of drama. Max Verstappen, he had another poor start. He seems to be making a habit of these slow starts off the green lights. Yeah, he ran into Raikkonen, I believe, and in the first lap his race was completely over. It was quite disappointing as well, as I was quite interested to see Max Verstappen. Lately he's been in a rich vein of form. I believe it's the first time since last season's Hungary that he has not finished in the top 5 of any race. So, a remarkable consistency shown by him. And of course, his Orange Army, the fans were there in numbers. But yeah, they only got about, 15 seconds of Max. Hamilton did get the jump on Sebastian Vettel at the start. However, it was, very clear right from the get-go that the Ferrari car straight line speed was far superior to the Mercedes. And yeah, it was like running with Leclerc, Vettel, Hamilton, Bottas in that order for a while, until Ferrari, they pitted Vettel earlier than everyone else. Initially, because of the fresh tyres he had on, that once everyone else had pitted, he was leading the race. However, it was soon clear that his tyres were degrading, obviously a lot quicker than the rest, and he ended up finishing a disappointing 4th. What was quite interesting, personally, was the fact that Ferrari, for the first time, ordered Vettel to let Leclerc through. Now, normally, Vettel is the lead driver in the Ferrari. We've seen many times that Leclerc has been told to allow Vettel to overtake him. However, the roles were kind of reversed. Yes, strategy may have come into a little bit, but it was still quite significant, the fact that Ferrari told Vettel just let Leclerc through. Could this be a change in the number 1 driver position in Ferrari? With Vettel, of course, finishing 4th, the podium was made up of the 2 Mercedes and Leclerc. Hamilton, as ever, going really strong. He was at one point 15 seconds behind Leclerc with about 10 laps to go, and managed to close that gap down, where he began the final lap only a second and a half behind, and eventually did finish the race less than a second behind Leclerc. So yeah, it was quite a nail-biting finish, but predominantly quite a bit of personally, a bit of a boring race. Not too much drama. It was quite obvious how it was going to pan out. It was not the excitement we had in, for instance, Austria or Germany. And with that, Hamilton, of course, increases his lead at the top of the standings. Another little side story to the race was, of course, the introduction of Alexander Albon to Red Bull. He has replaced Gasly for this second half of the season after the summer break. He had to start last as Red Bull decided to give him a new engine, and they didn't want to do Verstappen and Albon at the same time. So probably next week in Monza, Verstappen will get a new engine. You know, you can't really judge Albon. It's his first race in the Red Bull. Spa is a difficult track, and especially starting from the back of the grid. But he did a remarkable job. He finished 5th. So that was a really impressive drive, loads of overtakes. And already, if anything, he's impressed me more in this one race than Gasly did at the beginning half of the season. So yeah, a really impressive 5th place for Albon, it must be said. Gasly, I thought, drove pretty well in the Toro Rosso as well. The Red Bull situation is becoming quite interesting leading up to next year. Who's going to be the two drivers in, well, Verstappen is guaranteed, but you know, who's the other driver that will partner him in the Red Bull next season? With 8 races to go, they're coming thick and fast now. We have Monza this weekend, the Italian Grand Prix, a circuit that, of course, is the home race for the Ferraris, and it does suit them. So I expect another strong showing from Ferrari. It could be back-to-back wins for LeClerc. And I'd just like to wrap this video up by quickly going through the standings for the top 6 and the top 3 constructors. Hamilton, like I've said before, has increased his championship lead to now 65 points over teammate Valtteri Bottas. Hamilton on 268, Bottas on 203. Third place, we still have Max Verstappen despite the DNF. He's on 181. Sebastian Vettel 169. And 5th place is Charles Leclerc on 157 with his first ever Formula 1 win. And of course, the first win for Ferrari this season. They've had a bit of a disappointing season, to say the least. In terms of the constructors, Mercedes, they've pretty much wrapped up a 6th consecutive constructors, haven't they? They're already on 471 points. Second place, Ferrari on 326. Third place, Red Bull on 254. Now, before this race, the gap was cut down to 40 points between Red Bull and Ferrari. However, a DNF for Verstappen and a 1st and 4th place finishes for the Ferraris has given them a little bit of breathing space. So that could, most likely, actually, it will be the final 3 in that order for the constructors. With that, I leave it there for now. We still have 8 races to go, so you'll have 8 more race reviews like I've said before. Please do subscribe for content like this, and of course give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and most importantly, do leave a comment with your thoughts, your opinions. I love listening and reading what you guys have to say, and as you may know, I do reply to most, if not all, of your brilliant comments. And with that, I'll leave it there. See you guys next time. Thank you very much.
Game, set, and match. Game, set,